Hello, everyone. I want to begin by congratulating Solidarity Asia for commencing its operations in Japan. This is significant not only for Solidaridad, but also for fostering sustainable trade and investment opportunities between two of the largest economies in Asia after China. Useful to add over here that Japan is the third largest importer of apparel globally, and India is the biggest producer of cotton. Today we will discuss how synergies in sustainable cotton can be mutually explored to reconcile competing social, economic, and environmental objectives. But let me begin by introducing myself. I am Anita Chester, and I lead the materials program at Loudest Foundation globally. The Loudest Foundation is part of the Brennan Meyer family enterprise and is responding to the dual crisis of climate breakdown and inequality caused by a broken economic system. Though new, Loudest Foundation builds upon and furthers the work of CNA Foundation and will continue this programmatic work in its fashion pillar. Working with and through industries, Loudest Foundation will work with businesses to tackle the most pressing and systemic issues, starting with those that have a heavy negative impact on people and the planet. Its mission is to support brave action and to inspire the sector, but also challenge the industry to be a force for good. And to demystify the negative impact that is causing the breakdown of the economic system, we must begin by trying to understand the underlying context. Today, 8 to 10% of the apparel industries, of the share of the global emissions, um, I beg your pardon, today 8 to 10% of the share of global GHG emissions is caused by the apparel sector. 70% of the clothes that are bought are discarded and end up either in landfills or get incinerated. 62% of the fiber that goes into our clothes comes from oil-based materials. And on the inequality side, 8% of the people in the globe have the same wealth as 50% of the world's poorest. Speaking of cotton, 90% of the farmers are smallholder and have less than 2 hectares of land. Agriculture and forestry contribute to 24% of the emissions. These are hardly statistics which are uh, very, which, I mean, we can hardly be proud of these statistics. Now, turning our attention to the fibers, we see a predominance of oil-based fibers in the global fiber mix. And cotton is the second dominant fiber. So cotton contributing to 25% of the fiber mix, and polyesters and other synthetic materials nearly 62%. Hence, it is really important that cotton must be grown sustainably, and the fossil fuel-based fibers must find alternatives in next-gen or circular materials. This is the goal of the materials program at Loudest. Now, the challenges that are presented by growing cotton conventionally are both social and environmental. They include poor water management, excessive use of pesticides, monocropping, which destroys biodiversity, and on the social side, we see that the prices received by farmers are hardly fair. Over the years, various sustainability programs have tried to address these issues. Notable amongst them are BCI, Organic, Fair Trade, and Cotton Made in Africa. But today, only 23% of the cotton comes from these sustainable sources. And sadly, organic is only 1% of the global cotton production. Now, India does happen to be the largest producer of organic cotton as well. 51% of the global organic cotton comes from India. Further, the growth of organic cotton globally has been on an upward trajectory for some years now, and this is great news. At the Loudest Foundation, we have supported all sustainable cotton standards, but our investments have primarily been focused on organic cotton, as this is the area where most investments are needed. Historically, our cotton program has three pillars: capacity building, market building, and advocacy. Now, capacity building partnerships include working with partners such as Solidaridad Asia and Brazil, WWF India and Pakistan, GIZ, Aga Khan, and Aga Khan Foundation, to name only a few. These partnerships in 5 countries have supported more than 55,000 farmers to adopt organic cotton practices. On the side of, at the level of the sector, our program works to link farmers to international brands such as CNA, H&M, Indicus. And to support industry collaboration, we also work and incubate multi-stakeholder initiatives. 2 important multi-stakeholder initiatives that we have supported include the Organic Cotton Accelerator and Forum for the Future with its Cotton 2040 program. Now, Solidaridad has been one of our important partnerships, as I mentioned earlier. Within this partnership, we have supported 8,000 farmers covering 4,200 hectares under organic cotton cultivation. Besides capacity building, Solidaridad has also played a big role in policy advocacy by participating in the organic and the fair trade cotton secretariat, even being part of the governance. This is extremely important to provide the enablers that are so necessary to support organic production. Now, in strengthening the strengthening market access, Solidaridad also plays a big role in linking up with the organic cotton sector. However, over the course of these partnerships, whilst good progress has been made to support organic and biodiversity-friendly agriculture, we have also gathered some important lessons. Really important to understand that the sector is fragmented and it needs alignment. Certification today is very top-down and is often single commodity based. The sector is focused on misplaced investments. Primarily, a lot of the money goes into verification instead of capacity building. Sadly, projects are also run farm by farm. Very often, these projects are short-term, disconnected, and often competitive. Hence, we fail to achieve the long-term protection of nature and to build community resilience. And at the same time, we find that business is also unable to integrate sustainability in its operations. And current impact is not able to address the structural issues. For this reason, we need to find system-level solutions. Hence, going forward, we aim to drive systemic transformation through sustainably managed landscapes. We are building our first pilot in this area in partnership with IDH and WWF, and it is called Regenerative Production Landscape, People, Nature, and Economy. This is essentially a jurisdictional approach that will cover not just cotton, but all farmers in an area. The aim is to build a multi-stakeholder governance that brings together companies that commit to sourcing sustainably, community and producer organizations for more inclusive decision-making, government institutions that enable sustainable and green growth, and also impact investors and funders who seek scalable solutions that deliver on the sustainable development goals. Now, this sort of an approach should help companies by helping them to transition their business models from standard-specific sourcing of materials to a jurisdiction-based approach, which addresses the aspect of inequality in the supply chain by giving power to producers and producer organizations, and helping in restoring the environment as farmers adopt organic and regenerative practices that impact land use, soil health, water, biodiversity, at the same time reducing GHG emissions. As the first pilot takes off, we have also commenced working with Solidaridad Asia to transition the program in Maharashtra, India to a sustainable landscape. Solidaridad already has considerable experience in this. We can be an area of collaboration. This can be an area of collaboration with Japanese companies as well, who prioritize the impact of business operations on people and planet. I can already think of few important Japanese retailers that we know of India. Fast Retailing, the brand Uniqlo, Muji, and several others who want to source organic from India would find this program very useful. Solidaridad and Loudus are open to discuss these opportunities. With this, I would like to thank you for your patient hearing and invite you for discussions with us. Thank you again.